How do we revive Eick Moore's Battlestar Galactica? When we leave the last episode, we see Sam allegedly going to his demise, leading the fleet into the sun. Earlier, I speculated that the resistance, who wanted to make peace with the cylons, who were like those who did not go down to Caprica but stayed on the ships, likewise didn't go down to Earth, stayed on the ships, knowing the plan that Adama and the rest of everybody else was going down to Earth because allegedly the Battlestar was on its last leg. So my theory is, because you just see Sam going away into the sun, my theory became this resistance stayed on and then hacked Sam. And they took over the ships and they kept it going. This one, however, is a little bit better. And stay tuned. I'm giving a premise because I put together a little bit of a video to see how that might go with Sam. I came up with another ending. Because Battlestar Galactica is spiritually centered, we have the human who worship gods in a plural and the Cylon who worships one true God. And we can look in Genesis about chapter 3 where it says God put skin suits on them. So many years out in space, Cylons met God, and God made them synthetic, but he gave them blood that is compatible with humans because they're able to give birth and they have organs. The only way to distinguish them was this synthetic skin that maybe they needed to have for outer space. But I digress. I tend to talk in outline form. I don't know how much of this I'm going to edit, so stick with me. So it's very spiritually based. I've studied my Bible 7 years. I didn't choose any other labor. So I was picking things out of this, and it struck me one day that when you read in Genesis chapter 3, verse 24, that God drove out man from the Garden of Eden, and he put before them the cherubim, flaming and turning to guard the way to life. I was watching some solar weather forecast on YouTube, and they brought the sun up really big, and then they showed the backside of it, and they showed different points on it that would cause it to send solar flares and how that would affect us and our weather on Earth. It was at the point in the beginning of this that they had the sun turning, and it just made me stop and think, wow, what if the sun is the cherubim? Because the cherubim really isn't defined. It gets into some likeness about their wings spreading out touched. But again, in the Bible, it says we tend to think in human terms. And every time that God/Jesus gives us an analogy, it is by what we know here on earth. But it's nothing out there. So let your mind think about that for a moment. Maybe the sun itself is the cherubim. It's flaming. We know the sun does that, causes heat, and it's turning. So this would keep out Satan. He can't go through it. So I'm going to show a clip that says that Sam actually goes through this, how we go there. I'm going to give a little bit of premise. In Mark chapter 7, verse 34, when Jesus is healing, he looks up to heaven and he says this word, be opened. He's asking something to be open, a door to be open. Revelation chapter 3, verse 20, it says, it references to opening a door. Same thing at Revelation 3:8. I have set a door before you. If you hear my voice. So we're going to allege that as Sam is going towards the sun, it is actually a porthole to the true life. He's trusting God, and he hears the voice, and they go through, and it is a portal, and it takes them to the other side of it, of life. There's a couple other things that go in with this. These elements of Jesus commanding a being open, that there's a door, that there's a cherubim that is flaming and turning, that is guarding the way so that you can't go through it. It's at Tobit 12:19. The angel says, you saw a vision. You didn't see what was real. And in 2 Thessalonians at chapter 2, verse 11, it says, God sends them powerful delusions. So you'd never conceive that possibly the very porthole to get to life is going through that sun. For me, taking on that element that, okay, they're sailing away, the ship's going, Sam hears a voice, they go through this porthole, they come out on the other side, and they still live. That is a much more exciting entrance to revive Battlestar Galactica. Before we get into this little video that makes a representation of what that would look like for Sam and crew, I'm going to plug my channel. My channel, Marie Yeager, is going to enable you to learn and be entertained. I'm a writer, philosopher, poet. I study, I share my knowledge. I enjoy nature, photography, and making little storytelling things like this, as well as my cats. Not a bad time to subscribe. Without further ado, let's go take a look at this video that I edited that gives an element of what this premise of Sam entering the portal would look like. Enjoy.
The 557, contact tower 128.15. Maintain spacing interval 90 seconds. No closer than 3 nautical miles.
90 seconds, 3 miles.